win. They won. The 49ers won. They were losing in the fourth quarter, and they came all the way back. This is one of the more important victories in 49ers franchise history. A lot of people you need to thank and acknowledge. No, it was a game-winning drive, though, for Trey Lance, the first, I think, of his life. Someone asked him after the game, have you ever led a game? I think Josh Dubow asked him, when was the last game-winning drive you led? He was like, I do them in practice. So, look, big win for the 49ers. We'll talk about the starters. I think we should start with Trey Lance because, let's be honest, he is the number one topic on this team. He's the number one topic on this team, not the starting quarterback, not the defense, not the head coach. It's Trey. Even though he might, he was fighting for his job today. I think today, what Trey Lance did today was like borderline inspirational. Like, I know, like, maybe some of us overly identify with him and maybe empathize a little bit too much with him. You know, he's a very rich he's a very rich young man who is set for life, and he's trying to play a dangerous sport, and it'll work out or it won't. But we knew what was at stake for Trey Lance coming into this game. Everyone wrote him off after that performance last week. He wasn't going to get as much playing time this week. If he struggled again, the Niners would have every excuse to cut him. And the way Brock played, the way Darnold played, the pressure was on Lance. Like, pretty much if he struggled, I think Niner fans would have been more than okay with the team cutting him and rolling with Darnold and Purdy. Like, Lance was playing for his job with the Niners, if not his career in general. And when he threw that pick on his first drive, felt like it was over for him. Now, in retrospect, it was a bit of a bad break. Not a good throw, but it got tipped, and then there was like a diving interception. Like, okay, rough break, but also bad play. And knowing Trey, or not knowing Trey, but just our little bit of an exposure to Trey kind of made me feel like he might go in the tank. Like, he's a little bit more like Nick Mullins than Jimmy Garoppolo in the sense that I feel like he wants to be perfect, and making mistakes really bothers him. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't care at all. So once that mistake happened, I felt like, man, he's going to go in the tank. He needs to get the hell out of here. He's putting too much pressure on him. He can't be confident. He looks miserable. Everyone wrote him off. I wrote him off. And then he comes out again for the next drive. And it's better. He picks up some first downs. There's penalties. They don't score, but quietly it looks better. And then the third drive, all of a sudden, he gets a rhythm. And he hits 6 completions in a row, quick throws, in rhythm, slants, stuff that he normally wouldn't hit in rhythm. And then he throws that 21-yard touchdown pass to Cameron Lazzu. And it dawns on you like, man, that's the longest throw a Niners quarterback has hit today. And then he does it again on the next drive, like leads him right back down the field for the game-winning field goal. So does that mean that Trey Lance is the best quarterback on the team? No. But it does mean that he can play in the NFL. There was a question about that heading into this game. There was a question about that after the first drive. He can play in the NFL. And I don't know if he'll ever end up being the starter here, but there's a job for him waiting. The Niners better be really careful about what they do with Trey Lance, because if they cut him, he's going to sign on a team that knows what to do with him, that lets him play, and he could be really good in a couple. He could be I wouldn't be surprised if he's the comeback player of the year in a couple of years with the Seahawks. That's just where I think this is going. But let's not go down that far. Let's go backward. We see what Trey Lance, he's a slow starter. He may not always be a slow starter, but a slow starter for a couple of reasons. One, he hasn't played that much football. Every time it's his first series, he looks like it's been a while. Like he doesn't quite know what he's doing. By the third or fourth series, he looks like he's settled in. And that was the case in his win against the Texans. Remember, it wasn't looking good in the first half. Then he settled in, blew him away in the second half. So he's a bit of a slow starter. Is it because he hasn't played that much football? Is it also because he came from North Dakota State? I know the Raiders used to feel this way about Derek Carr, who came from Fresno State. He was jittery early in games because even big games at Fresno State cannot match NFL games. That's a small crowd. That's a small stage compared to the NFL. And, I mean, North Dakota State's like that even more. No one knows you're playing football. Like, no one cares that you played a football game at North Dakota State. So now every single freaking thing you do is scrutinized, even in practice. And maybe it takes Trey Lance to just calm down and play football, but that's beautiful of this game. It's 3 hours long. And the nerves have to go away eventually. And with Trey, unfortunately for him, he just hasn't been in many opportunities where he could play a whole game. And that makes you think, like, What if the last 3 years, the Niners had just given him all the reps in the preseason? All of them. Or 75 to 80% of the reps in preseason. Like, you know what? We got Sam Darnold. We have Brandon Allen. They're vets. We have Nate Sudfeld. We got all these vet backups. They don't need to play. Trey needs to play because he hasn't played in college. He took the COVID year off. He needs to play. What if he had gotten all the reps in preseason the last 3 years? What would he look like now? What if he had played into the third quarter last week? What would he have looked like last week? It seems pretty clear that the longer he plays, the better he does, the more confidence he has. He improves. And now what's funny is you haven't really given him that many reps. At the very end of the second preseason game, he shows something. And the Niners are like, what do? We were this close to cutting him. We were this close to trading him. What do? You know what you do? You let him play with the starters next week because fair is fair. Brock Purdy played one drive with the starters. Sam Darnold played one drive with the starters today. Let's see what Trey Lance looks like behind the starting offensive line with Deebo Samuel out there. Because, no disrespect to Brock Purdy, he looked good today. But when you can throw a pass behind the line of scrimmage to Deebo and he picks up 15 yards, damn it, you're going to look good. I'd like to see what that looks like. I feel like Trey earned it. I'm not saying start him week 1. I'm not. But give him a look-see. See what it looks like. I think he earned it. And not just that he earned it. Like, you spent 3 first-round picks on him. He was your first-round pick this year. And he's showing strides. In the minimal opportunities you've given him, when you let him play for more than a freaking series, he's improving. He clearly belongs in this league. He's the youngest quarterback on the team. He's the least experienced quarterback on the team. Give him all the reps in preseason. All these reps that go to Sam Darnold are waste. You know why? Because Sam Darnold isn't improving. So, good for Lance. Inspirational. Everyone wrote him off. And then he played well. That says something about him, right? He's more resilient than we thought. I thought he would go in the tank. I thought he would be like, oh, you know, there's another bad break. Everything's not going my way. This sucks. Nope. I guess he's a much more resilient person than we thought. So, I'm impressed. It doesn't mean he's a great quarterback. It doesn't mean he should start. But it means he should be on this team. And there's another week of preseason. And enough of Sam Darnold. We need to get a better look at Trey Lance so the Niners can make a real accurate decision on what they should do with their quarterback depth chart. Sven says, can we get a Fernando? Why did I do that the first time? Somebody needs to find the original. Lance looked good in the design run outside, said happy faster. No, they should keep going, running them between the tackles. That's better. Jose Batista says, can we trade Darnold now? Who the hell wants Sam Darnold? Did you see how much the Niner fans cheered when he was done? It's like, yes! It's over! It's true. Roger Cantu says, Papa Cohn gonna owe you a bottle. Pick my spots with these wagers. Shout out Papa Cohn, big guy. Jay says, why would you cut him if he doesn't make that much? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't cut him. Wave 9 says, Brock was dink and dunk, manufactured first script drive. Trey Lance had 173 yards in one quarter. Bro, Trey will get his chance here eventually. I think so too. And if he doesn't start week 1, maybe good for him, honestly, with the track record of Kyle and his quarterbacks. She Prays Mike says, Grant SportsCenter show SDTD, but didn't show the pick, but showed Trey Lance pick and nothing else. Shake my head, Trey is QB1 to me. I feel like they probably cut up that highlight reel before Trey Lance led his 2 drives. Where's Flav at? I don't know. Flav, where you at? Shout out Ryan G. Hensley. Justin Lomker says, Kyle talking good about Lance is like in Step Brothers when they try to hug, just painful. Yeah, he really did everything nice to say about Lance. He really went on about how it wasn't perfect. Like, we know it wasn't perfect by all means, right? He says that all the time. Justin Cole says Trey does start slow, but Trey has led 4 scoring drives in 2 preseason games. 1 drive ended in a missed field goal. It's true. It's true. Meanwhile, Sam Darnold has led 1 touchdown drive in a million opportunities. Heard Jesse say Trey pulled you to the side and thanked you. Nah, I didn't hear that. That's not true. Didn't hear that at all. Nah. Peyton Wisdom says, let's talk about what people want to hear. Mitch Wishnowsky is primed for a big 5th-year leap. Do you think Mitch's steady foot can punt the Niners into a Super Bowl win Mitch season? He's terrible. So bad. Niners Daddy says Trey Lance bounced back huge and looked legit. Iggy, great QC work on Lance. He responds to you and you give him what Kyle doesn't. Build his confidence. I'll take it. I am the coach that Trey Lance needs. The life coach. I'm proud of the guy. She praised Mike says, am I tripping? The crowd erupted when Trey Lance came in. They absolutely erupted when Trey Lance came in. Kevin Gwynn says, do you think there will be a mass recall on statements made about Trey? No, I don't. Do not trade 5. It'll bite us. We need him. Says Sachin. It does feel like his stock is up, though. El Penguin says Trey is seeing the whole field. JT's film study was an endorsement, not a criticism, because it showed he's making all the reads, just not trusting what he sees because the team ruined his confidence, and he hasn't played much. Playing matters. This is why we said, hey, sitting Trey Lance for a year as a rookie so he can develop in practice isn't going to fucking work. Sorry, excuse my French. Because live game action where you can actually get hit is way different than practice. And boom! Rob Schneider says the best I've ever seen Trey. He was slinging them throws like Favre. I took a couple tequila shots in celebration and ate enchiladas. Congrats, number 5. Well, that's what matters, Rob. T&K Hunting Gear says, don't act like Purdy hasn't thrown 20, 30-yard dimes, Grant. Every quarterback in this league throws plenty of checkdowns. Not every pass needs to be a bomb down the field. Shout out to Brock Purdy. He played well tonight. No disrespect. The stadium cheered hella loud for Trey. Yup, he's the most popular player on the team, to the chagrin of every other player on the team. Brooks says, it benefits the Niners to have Trey ready considering the whole team will get snaps at quarterback because of McKivitz. Yikes. Sheila says, Trey. El Nano says, you think they'll cut Nick Sakel and Jalen Moore? We need a new addition to the line. Cut them so they can keep who? Their offensive line is terrible. I mean, the depth. Drooper89 says, Greg Papa Eaton, his passive-aggressive remarks toward the end was great. Didn't hear it. Wish I could have. Too Far TV says, Kyle gave Purdy 6 passes in a row because of you. LOL. That's true. There's no question about it. And then he gave Trey a very balanced play sheet. Am I wrong? You go back and look. Trey, it was run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. You're welcome, Trey. I made that happen. I'm so proud of myself. Anoop says Trey's deep post to Ronnie Bell to seal the game was exquisite. The execution on that one was reminiscent of Kyle's offense 2016 ATL. Finally, some air yards. Hunter Stoll says, what do you think the Niners will do with Lance? Keep him! Ha! Colin says we'll need Trey. Kyle plus his O-line QB death trap. Yup. Wave 9 says, is this too tinfoil, Grant? But I want to believe in some fantasy world that Kyle doesn't hype up Trey because he doesn't want the league to know. I don't see it that way. Maybe. Ben Myers in football. What's up, Ben? Says Trey finished 8 for 9, 142 and 1 TD game-winning drive. Yeah, he sucks. He's so bad. Except for when he just got super-duper hot and eviscerated that team. Davis Mills, funny how you ride Trey, yet he doesn't even like you. I don't care. How you know he doesn't like me? My friends like me. My mom liked me. My dad likes me. I'll take that. Wave 9 says, I was at the game today for my BD. I yelled Trey. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Viva los Niners cabrones. Says Mr. Quintana. Jamila13 says, wow. Trey Lance at 23 years old showed talent and potential. Imagine if he gained experience and played with the first-string superstars. Sachin says, inject them post-game reactions back into my veins. Got you. El Nano says, why are you yelling? I don't know. Sorry. All right, let's talk Sam Darnold. Man, we got a whole lot of the quarterback no one wants to see. Brock Purdy, young quarterback, promising, improving, definitely needs to be out there. Did great stuff last year. Deserves to be the leader in the clubhouse. Trey Lance, younger than Brock, more heralded than Brock. Had a tough 2 years of his career, but you could pretend he just left college now at 23 years old, and he's essentially a rookie still, and he's improving. And then you got Sam Darnold, who's fine. He's okay. He threw a touchdown pass to a wide open guy. He threw a pick that wasn't his fault. He completed a bunch of short passes. I don't think he completed anything over 10 yards. I don't think he ever looked at his second read. He got sacked twice. He's got this athleticism in his arm that he doesn't freaking use. It's like he goes out there and tries to do a bad Brock Purdy impression. I mean, no disrespect to Sam Darnold because he was fine, but you could give him all. He's not good. He's inconsistent. you have to everything really has to go his way for him to be successful. Why is he out here? To me, Sam Darnold would play exactly the same whether you gave him 8 drives or 1 drive. He's going to be the same guy no matter what. He started 55 games. He's 26 years old. A few more reps in the preseason isn't going to change anything for him. He's just not that good. So, did we learn something new about Sam Darnold? Is it important that he got a full half? I guess Kyle wants to be fair, but it just seems like, again, it was a missed opportunity for Trey, the fact that he has to split these reps with Sam. I understand putting Trey number 2 in the depth chart behind Brock Purdy, but really making him compete with Sam Darnold? He won the competition. He's better than Sam Darnold. There is not one team in the league other than maybe the Niners that would prefer to have Sam Darnold over Trey Lance. It's over. It's over. It's over. Trey's the backup. Sam's number 3. It shouldn't have taken any competition to figure that out. But it's over. And they can keep Sam Darnold because they've had injuries at quarterback, but he should not be active on game days. This is it for him. He hasn't magically improved because he came to the 49ers and plays with Kyle Shanahan. He's the same guy. He's a one-read quarterback, and even though he's big and fast and strong, he plays like a bad version of Brock Purdy, and you have to set him up for success. And even if you do, he's probably taking that sack on 3rd down. So, glad we got to know you, I guess, but he should never, ever, ever play an actual game with the 49ers. And every snap he's on the field in the preseason, the snaps should go to Trey Lance. Because Trey improves. And the fact that Sam Darnold actually got reps in preseason with the starters before Trey is kind of blowing my mind. Once again, Kyle Shanahan doesn't know which quarterbacks are his best quarterbacks. You really thought Sam was better than Trey? Shame on you. You really thought you could pivot from Trey Lance to Sam Darnold and media and fans would give you a round of applause and pat you on the back? Shame on you. You really thought Sam Darnold and his 55 games under his belt was going to be a totally different dude when he came to this team? Shame on you. Man, focus on the quarterback that you haven't spent any time developing, Trey. Because when you give him like 5 drives in a row, he improves. I don't want to see Sam Darnold on the field again. I want to see Brock Purdy with the starters next week. Then I want to see Trey Lance with 1 drive with the starters. And then I want to see him play the rest of the fucking game. No Darnold. It's been more than enough of Sam Darnold, man. If Sam Darnold plays next week, Niner fans, I'm looking at you. I want you to boo, okay? I want you to boo the fuck out of... Just really boo hard. Let the Niners know how you feel. How you feel about them not really giving Trey Lance the time he deserves and wasting it on this guy who's always going to be the same. I want to hear it, guys. Don't just cheer for Trey. Boo, but it's not even booing Sam. You're booing Kyle. Make that clear. You're not booing Sam. Sam's a bystander here. You're booing Kyle for wasting your time. You spent money to come to this game. Next week's going to be a Friday game. It starts at 7. Don't you dare let Kyle Shanahan ruin your Friday night with Sam Darnold experience. That's on Kyle. This is entertainment. Is Robbie Gold available? Hell yeah, Nathan. El Show de El Gato says, if Trey Lance was a different shade, would the fans and national media think different of him? Guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. Evelina Ochoa says, Purdy says as much as Kyle. Trey for the win today. Whoever says the least is a starting quarterback. El Penguin says, best thing you can say about Sam is nice spiral. Ha! Saul Goodman says, Trey Lance's time is unfortunately finished with the 49ers. If the Niners try to get rid of him after today, I think fans would be pissed. Is Kyle doing this all on purpose to Trey? Says Justin. Like what? Doing all of this? All of what? Jay Figs Ramon says it took Darnold 3 quarters to score and Trey a few drives. We got a quarterback room. Hey! Justin Longer says Lance is mesmerizing and interesting QB. No one gives a damn about Sam. Next week will be the most pivotal game for both Sam and Lance moving forward. No one gives a damn about Sam. You said it. Dave in the Desert says, how do you see quarterback order in Game 3? Should sit Purdy and Trey, play with whatever. I said play Purdy for a quarter and a half. Play one drive, play Trey one drive with the starters, and then give him the rest of the freaking game. Enough Sam Darnold. Trey needs a drive with the starters. I would like that, Sheridan. 49ers Daddy says, all these wasted reps on Sam QB2 rigged? Wasted! Niner Nation for life says, Darnold dumbbell needs more reps. Come on, Grant. Marcos says, Sam looks like he can only throw slants. Trey QB2. Ink Talk TV says, where did he get his stats line? Those numbers say 12 for 18, 173. When the hating don't work, they start lying. Okay. DeReal Clo, $1. Thank you. Trey had a really nice scramble in his first drive. He did. Camp Report. Shout out Camp Report. Benjamin. TK Huntinggear. Not going to lie, my dad and I discussed how it seemed like Darnold had thrown 20 times. We were still at the 50-yard line for 2 quarters. Yup. Modern Gamer says Ronnie Bell's a monster. He needs to catch the ball, but that's everyone on the team. Duper1 says Trey area bro was locked in. F Darnold. Wave 9 says we had a comeback win because of Trey. Impressive. Wow. Stock up. D Nice says clear O-line is the biggest concern thus far. DeReal Close says, do you see Ayuk running the end zone after Trey TD? Did you think he's pushing for Trey? I did not see that. Was that who the penalty was on? Ayuk for running out there? Good for Ayuk. Yeah. Steve M says, is it me or Papa and Tim the worst? Didn't listen. I mean, Tim's always cool to me. I can't say that. Let's talk Brock Purdy. I've been really down on Brock Purdy all offseason. I'm like, look, he's not the same guy. Totally different dude. All these picks in practice. This could translate. To his credit, he looked the same freaking guys last year. He didn't throw picks. He looked good. It was his first game. It was his first live action back from tearing his UCL. He didn't look rusty. He looked like Brock Purdy. He's really good at rolling left and throwing. Like, no, not even being snarky. Not everyone's good at that. He's really good at that. He's really good at throwing screen passes. Ask Trey. Not so easy. Trey got picked because Trey doesn't change arm slots as naturally as Brock. Brock's great at that. So, slants, dump off, screens, Brock's money. Moving when throwing, Brock's money. What was surprising, though, was when he got in the red zone, took the sack, scrambled, couldn't score. He's been so money in the red zone for a long time, but this is one time. He's not going to be perfect in the red zone. So, all credit to Brock. Maybe I'm overreacting to his training camp. I don't know. But I also feel like the Niners set him up for success. All of his throws were short and easy and wide open. And the Broncos weren't game planning. And the Broncos suck. And it's not going to be as easy week 1 against Pittsburgh. So, still a little concerned about Brock. But not in the sense like, he's not like Sam Darnold. He's a promising young quarterback. Just like Trey. Is he more promising than Trey? I don't know about that. I have questions about his overall potential. But is he better than Trey right now? You'd have to say yes. Because even though he's limited, he has so much playing experience, and he's so comfortable on the field where Trey needs a few drives. Trey needs some time. Trey needs to get in a rhythm. It feels like Brock's been in a rhythm since he came to the team. So all credit to Brock. All credit to the Niners for making things easy on him and protecting him and putting him in positions to succeed. I like that they did that with Darnold and Trey and not just the two of them, Brock and Darnold. So good job to Brock. Maybe I'm being too scared about what's going to happen, but I do feel like he got everything the Niners wanted for him. Everything was easy in this game, and he still took a sack on the one drive he played. So how much contact is he going to take this year? How many hits is he going to take? Yeah, is the word. And can he play a full season? Can any quarterback on this team play a full season, or is this quarterback by committee? Is this like, hey, man, you get September and October, you get November, December, and you get January? Is that what's going to happen? As long as it's not Darnold in January, I think the Niners will be okay. But, I mean, I was being really snarky about Brock early in the game. Like, hey, man, it was all him on those screen passes to Debo. Whatever. Is he a great quarterback? I don't think so. But they can win a lot of games with him. Let's see how far he goes and how long he stays healthy. But stock up for Brock. Stock up for Trey. No one ever wants to see Sam Darnold play again. Greg Papa said slinging Sammy Darnold. No, he didn't. Drew says Lance to Ayuk will be unstoppable deep balling. Is it too much to ask to see Trey Lance with the starters for like one time? Is it too much to ask before you bury him on the depth chart? Calais says Trey better be QB1 during Cincy and Niners in October when I get there to watch the game, visiting SF from Hawaii. Good luck. Don't hold your breath. Brock played well, but with this team, I prefer Trey. It's hard to say you prefer Trey when he's so far. He's just so unprepared, and it's their fault. It's crazy. I feel like a lot of people push back on that, but it is their fault. Look what happens when you give him live reps. He should have so many more live reps at this point of his career, and he doesn't. Why? Because of the pandemic and the 49ers. Crazy, man. Justin Cole, Brock did look pretty sharp. Nice, that was the Ayuk and Jennings, but that drive was all Debo. Yeah. No, all of that's true. All of that is true. Wave 9, Purdy's great drive was matched by Russell Wilson's athletic ability. They both got 3 points on their drives. Trey threw into many tight windows today. Yeah, and Brock didn't. We'll see. Brandon was excited because he wanted it deep. Pause. All right, let's talk about other things. I think it's time to be worried about Jake Moody. Like, he was better today than he was last week when he missed 2 field goals. This time he missed an extra point. And that last kick, that was like an extra point for the win, he almost missed that. Like, he barely snuck that kick in the right upright. And Kyle says he's not nervous because he's good in practice. Kyle, you may not have figured this out yet, but, like, games are way different than practice. I know you think you can evaluate players based on practice, and that's why you think Brandon Allen's better than Trey Lance or something, but it's really, really different. Like, practice football is essentially basketball on grass. Real football, people get hurt. There's collisions and hit and, like, big time collisions. And there's also pressure. So Jake Moody was, immune to pressure in college. Cool. He's immune to pressure in practice. Cool. Well, turns out he's not immune to pressure in preseason games. I mean, this is a guy who's replacing Robbie Gould, who never missed a field goal in the playoffs. Talk about being immune to pressure. Well, that's Robbie Gould. Now you got Jake Moody, who looks 15, and he's crumbling under the expectations that he's going to be automatic in a preseason game, missing extra points. Yeah, it's time to be nervous. After the game, Kyle Shanahan was real critical of Trey Lance and very hopeful and positive and reassuring of Jake Moody. Man, I got to say, Trey Lance inspires a whole lot more confidence than that rookie kicker. You give this guy one more preseason game. He misses another kick. I don't see how you don't re-sign Robbie Gould. If Jake Moody misses one more kick next week, how do you not sign Robbie Gould? Are you confident he's going to make all his kicks next week? I'm not. This guy seems like a kid who's got the weight of the world on his shoulders, and he knows he's on a win-now Super Bowl team, and he's this close to being the freaking scapegoat, the reason why they didn't advance as far as they should have. Because every year the Niners have a scapegoat, right? It's never anyone important's fault. The head coach, the 8 guys who get a lot of money and go to Cabo with the head coach and talk about how great they are, is never their fault. When they lost last year, only reason they lost the Eagles is because Tyler Kroft missed a block that he should have made. So he's gone. His fault. Otherwise, essentially the Niners won the Super Bowl last year except for Tyler Kroft. Year before that, Jaquaski Tartt. This year is going to be Jake, baby. Unless he gets it together. So Jake. And if it ain't Jake, it can't be Zane Gonzalez. It's got to be Robbie Gould. Do you think Robbie Gould watches these games and laughs? I think he does. I bet you Robbie Gould was watching this game, drinking a beer with his feet on like the ottoman, laughing. Not at Jake, but at the Niners. Like, you thought you could replace me with a rookie? You really thought that you could do that? Robbie Gould. Like, Robbie Gould sees himself as a Hall of Fame kicker. That's how he sees himself. That's why he played so long. He's trying to make the case that he's one of the greatest kickers of all time. And statistically, he is, especially in the playoffs. He's sitting there being like, man, you really think this 23-year-old kid's going to replace me and he can't even hit an extra point in the preseason? Good luck. You know it's not going to happen. So I'm curious to see if the Niners blink. They should. Cali Boy 58 says, Bell took Ray spot tonight. Parag happy. Bell's good. Kyle should have let Trey keep cooking. F that field goal. I agree, man. It's preseason. What are you doing? It felt like Kyle was trying to it felt like Kyle was trying to boost Sam Darnold's numbers, right? Keep him in there. Keep him in there. Keep him in there. Keep him in there until he leads a touchdown drive, which took forever. Then Trey did one on his third drive, was about to do another one on his second drive, and Kyle's like, whoa. Because what happened was Trey and Darnold finished the game with like identical numbers. I think one's quarterback rating was 93.2 and one's quarterback rating was 93.1. Yes, that's correct. Darnold was 93.2, Lance was 93.1. If he had that last touchdown. Adam Vinatieri struggled his rookie season as well. Fans wanted him gone to New England. Maybe just give it time, huh? Nah, I can't do that because it's a win-now team. Sorry. For the same reason you can't play Trey Lance on this team because the team is just so ready to go, you can't wait around for Jake Moody. This could be Trent Williams' last season in the NFL. This could be George Kittle's last season on the Niners. Same for Eric Armstead. These players are not getting better. You got to have a kicker who's ready right now. So if it ain't Moody, then you got to bring in Robbie Gould, and just develop Moody for a season on the bench, right? Let him play on the practice squad. Let him be the scout team kicker. I think he can be really good. Moody trash. Could have had a right tackle, DeJuan Jones. You don't spend third-round picks on kickers. Kickers are a dime a dozen. There's a guy on the street right now who's his name is Robbie Gould. How do you spend a third-round pick on a kicker when Robbie Gould's available and you need a right tackle and those are hard to find? Terrible. 7Ed P says, let's see what all the Michael Lombardis and Shady McCoy have to say. Oh, wait, I know. It was just preseason. Pretty much. Saul Goodman said, Grant came out swinging tonight. Yeah. Suchin says, cut Darnold's bum ass and carry 2 kickers every game. Interesting. Flip a coin, who gets the kick? Trey Lance makes his teammates better. Latu actually caught a pass. That is true. I think we got to talk about this defense. It can't stop the run. Like, Eric Armstead's a very good run stopper on the D-line. Nick Bosa, too. Nick Bosa's not here. Don't know when he's coming back. Other than them, Cleveland Farrell, Javon Hargrave, he's not a run defender. And, frankly, he doesn't look like he's quite week 1 ready. Yeah, did you notice him with his hands on his hips? He doesn't look like he's in the best shape. I don't know. No disrespect to a grown man, but I'm just saying, like, then you take the starters out. And you got like T.Y. McGill, Kevin Givens. They can't stop anything in the run game. Anything. So, I don't know. I remember this defense was among the worst in the league. It was like the franchise worst run defense ever when Chip Kelly got here. Robert Saleh comes here. First thing he does is fix the run defense. And since 2017, this run defense has been very good. He fixed it. D'Amico Ryans was on the coaching staff. He didn't change much. Now Steve Wilkes is here. And you have this wide 9 defense where you have 4 guys on the D-line and you spread them out. So there's all these holes in between. Traditionally, wide 9 defenses suck against the run. But Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans, really good at coaching run defense from that alignment. Is Steve Wilkes? Because he has no background with the wide 9. And so far, it looks like his guys are getting blown off the ball, pushed out of gaps. I don't know. I mean, what are we going to get from this defense? Is it going to be the same energetic defense that it was the last few years? 11 guys swarming to the ball? Like, that was a D'Amico Ryans, Robert Saleh staple. Is that a Steve Wilkes staple? He's not going to be providing the same energy, the same up-tempo energy that those guys did. He's going to be in the booth. So who's going to do it? Chris Kasarik? He's got a defensive line to coach. I'm curious about this defense. The overall energy and the run defense in particular. What's it going to look like? Everything looked better when Nick Bosa comes back, but it's been a top 5 defense 4 years in a row. Can they make it 5 with a third coordinator in 3 years? Yeah, in 4 years? I don't know. Reason to be concerned, right? When they have all the starters out there, they should be fine. But their depth is terrible. And we didn't see Javon Kinlaw tonight. Where is he? He didn't practice. He didn't suit up. He didn't play in this game, didn't suit up, didn't practice on Thursday. Is he okay? What's up? Is he hurt? I don't know. Hope he's not. but the defense has a lot to answer for. Trey is the best quarterback on this team, and it is a fact. John Milliner. Wave 9 says Trey Lance from week 1 to week 17 would be an insane difference. Yeah, and I think that's what people that, I don't know, that believe in Trey but feel like he's been given a raw deal. Like Brock Purdy, respect, man. You were ready to go. You were NFL ready immediately. Respect. How much better are you going to get? You were good right away, man. You were ready to go. How much better are you going to get? Is this the best of you right now? Have you peaked? Trey hasn't peaked. I think he'd get a lot better. That's why people want to see him play. Because he has to play in actual games to improve. Right? Rick says Trey needs development. He's going to be a beast once he gets some real time on the field if Sam Darnold bum-ass Trey area. Oh, line trash. Okay, let's talk O-line. So, Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, Spencer Burford. I mean, those are 4 starters. You have 4 legit starting offensive linemen. Spencer Burford's borderline, but I call him a starter. Then you got Colton McKivitz, who I would say is a backup, masquerading as a starter, but at least he's a quality backup that teams would want. After those 5, I'm not sure there's an offensive lineman on the team that any other team would want. I was thinking John Feliciano was the 6th best offensive lineman on the team. I was saying, he could play center, he could play guard, he started a lot of games, he was a starting center for the Giants last year, they went to the playoffs. He's terrible. He's awful. We have a holding penalty and he gave up a sack. Awful. Against backups. And that's their best backup offensive lineman. After him, Nick Sakel, no. Jason Poe, absolutely not. Matt Pryor, get the hell out of here. Jalen Moore, no. All of these guys could go. But the problem is there's no one on the street who's better. So I'm looking at a team with 3 good offensive linemen, maybe 4. They're going to carry at least 7, maybe 8. And so that means you're going to have 3 or 4 offensive linemen on this team who aren't as good as some guys who are going to get cut. Jalen Moore is going to make this team over some guy who's going to get cut who's better than him. Some linebacker, some DB, some D lineman. Going to get cut. Should be Jalen Moore. And it's like, yeah, it's tough to find good offensive linemen. Okay, then freaking draft them. You drafted none. You drafted none this year. And now you're like, oh, we got no depth on the offensive line. What happened? Oh, you didn't draft any. You signed John Feliciano and Matt Pryor. Damn. That's not good. No disrespect to them. You could have done better. You could have taken this more seriously. Those are washed up vets that have been on multiple teams and no one wants them. For a good reason. Now you just got to stop picking up these dudes off the discard pile and thinking that every other team in the league is stupid and they see something. Nah, man, Matt Pryor is as bad as the Colts thought and the Eagles thought. That's why he's gone. John Feliciano is as bad as the Raiders and the Giants thought. That's why he's gone. Stop getting retreads and discards on the most important position other than quarterback on the offense. John Feliciano. No. Next time you need a kicker and an offensive lineman, sign the kicker, draft the offensive lineman. Okay? Because when you sign a kicker, it's like $4 million. When you sign an offensive lineman who starts, it's like $18 million. Sign the kicker, draft the offensive... Come on. John Feliciano better not play a snap this year. Jalen Moore better not play a snap this year. If he does, I'm giving Brock Purdy or whoever the quarterback is every excuse. Yikes. P. Woody. Does Bosa play next week or will he be a DN that's not football ready in the first month of regular season? You tell me where the hell Bosa is. Drew says Debo will have a better year if Purdy plays. Ayuk will have a better year if Lance plays. Purdy got that heavy Spectre confidence Lance has. Litz. Don't know. Sure. D-Nice. Thank you, D-Nice. Omarginal says, you noticed Trey fixing the line before the snap. I didn't. I got to watch that again. But you know what? I'm done. That's the show. I'm done, and I'm leaving. Josh Wyatt says, Until 5 minutes left in that game, I thought Lance was unsalvageable. Now I think some other team is eventually going to salvage him. Crazy, right? He was dead in the water, and all of a sudden, he's kicking. He's breathing. He's swimming. It's got to be the most inspirational fourth quarter playoff performance. Did I say playoffs? It felt like a playoff game. It's got to be the most inspirational fourth quarter preseason performance of all time. And I just want to say, I fucking hate covering the preseason most of the time. This year, it might be better than the actual season. So much drama, so much intrigue. All the quarterbacks playing. Wow! Kyle, thank you so much. I criticize you a lot, and I'm riding you. But deep down, I never want you to leave, and I want you to keep this quarterback circus going forever. Because it's not good for you or the team, but it's great for me and my hits and my bottom line. So, Kyle, you're the real MVP. Trey, thank you for making it interesting. Brock, appreciate you for playing. Really too bad we had to watch that much Sam Darnold, but Sam, not your fault. You know? You were out there doing your thing, and I respect that. Lowell Cohn is the Joe Montana of Niner Reporters. Grant Cohn is the Trey Lance. Thank you. I will take it because you know how many completions did Joe Montana tonight? None. Addicted to action. Me too. Says your dad is like all other media criticize Trey Lance. It's stupid to say that Trey needed to get traded and Niners give up on Trey. Trey reminds me of Alex Smith. Give him a break. I'm wrong about stuff all the time. JVG, thank you very much. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Have a great night and sleep well and drive safe.